Day zero of building a real estate wholesaling business from 0 to 100K a month in 60 days, the start of the journey. The one regret that me and my business partner have had in the past is that when we've built businesses, we've never documented them. Too many times you see course gurus and info product guys who just flex their Rolex and just show the lifestyle to get you to buy the course. That's the side of entrepreneurship that they show you. But realistically, entrepreneurship is nothing like what you see on social media. It's actually very intricate. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of inputs every single day that you don't see behind the scenes lead to outputs. So the goal of this series is to be as transparent as possible at what it takes to build a self-sustaining real estate machine. Disclaimer, we kind of went through the build-out phase already. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been really building everything, getting marketing, getting sales, getting disposition all dialed in. So in this video, we're gonna go over everything, and then the next videos are gonna be what the results are from the marketing, what we're doing, what we're seeing day in and day out, and we're gonna be following along the deals that we're getting. So first and foremost, what is the biggest mistake potential wholesalers make? That biggest mistake is that they think it is a real estate business. It is not. That is the farthest thing from the truth. It is a marketing and sales business disguised as real estate. Every single day, I talk to people who say, Ben, I haven't got any deals. I haven't done anything yet. I need help. I need help. The first thing I always ask them is, what do you do for lead gen? I haven't done anything yet. I've just been learning. I've been studying. And that's the biggest mistake that you can make. If you look right here, this is the wholesaling funnel at its core. Obviously, there's more specificities, there's more intricacies, all that good stuff. But at the top, you have marketing right here. You need leads coming in, whether that's cold calling, PPC, pay per lead, direct mail, or text blasting. Then you have sales, which is the seller negotiations. Once you have those two down, then you could do the rest. Too many people, they are like, oh, how do I do a sub 2 deal? How do I comp? Do I have buyers? What's EMD money? That doesn't matter. Of course, it's good to know all of these things. You have to know in order to get a deal across the finish line, but focusing all your time and attention on that stuff while not actively fulfilling the pipeline with leads is the biggest mistake that you can make. Let's talk about the difference between the struggling wholesalers and the guys doing millions a month. Because here's the thing about real estate wholesaling. The A to Z is the same. The same process that someone trying to get their first deal across the finish line is the same process that the person doing $1 million a month does. But there are two key differentiators. Do you guys know what they are? It's marketing and it's sales. Look, the struggling wholesaler, they don't do any marketing. Maybe they pick up the phone once or twice a week and make 20, 30 dials. And then they wonder, why don't I have any deals? I haven't done anything yet. Let me give up. So they aren't doing that much marketing. And then the second part is sales. They can't close a door. I don't care if you have all the leads in the world. If you suck at sales, if your sales process is broken and leads are dripping through the bucket, you're not going to be successful. So the struggling wholesaler, they can't close a door at all. Third, they have instant gratification. Anyone who has ever came to me on a call, I have told them, do not expect to make money in your first month. Why is that? Look, obviously there's people who can get a contract on January 1st and get that assigned by January 7th. It happens all the time. But the sales cycle for real estate wholesaling is very slow. Hypothetically, get you a contract today, odds are there is a due diligence period for most buyers for 30 days. But we both know all leads that you get is not a one-call close. Because selling your house, it's a very emotional process. When you cold call someone, for example, they might say, yeah, I'm open to selling. You call them up and try to negotiate them. I changed my mind. It typically takes, on average, 7 different calls to get a wholesale deal across the finish line. So for the wholesalers who are stuck in instant gratification mode where they don't close right away that it's a bad lead, they're never going to make it. And then finally, they're output driven. Oh, I haven't got a deal yet. Oh, I haven't got a contract. Well, I'm doing this work, but I don't have any results yet. Every time I hear that, it rips a part of my soul out. Because in business, inputs lead to outputs. Too many people are focused on what can I get out of the work that I'm putting in. Instead, they need to be focused on what work am I doing. You need to be doing the cold calls. You need to be doing the follow-ups. You need to be spending in marketing. You need to be focused on the inputs because the work you put in the next 30 days, you see the results over the next 90. Compared to the $1 million a month wholesaler, they spend the most on marketing. If any of you guys know who Dan Kennedy is, he's one of the greatest direct response marketers of all time, and he says the best marketers are the ones who could spend the most to acquire customers. That's why the biggest brands in the world pay $7 million for a 30-second ad on the Super Bowl. Joe Schmo doing 10K a month with his e-com business is not doing Super Bowl marketing. It's the Bud Lights, it's the Anheuser-Busch's, the Doritos, Pepsi's, all the big name brands. There's a reason why they're the biggest brands in the world, because they spend the most on marketing. 2, the $1 Million Wholesaler has acquisitions absolutely dialed in. Their closers know how to close. They have their 7, 14, 21, 90-day, and 180-day follow-up sequence dialed in. They do sales training Monday through Friday. They know how to handle objections. When they get a lead, they confidently know that them or their team can handle it and get it across the finish line. 3, they understand the pipeline. The work you put in the next 30 days prospecting, you see the results over the next 90. Then finally, they are input driven. All business is a function of 3 things, and I'll reiterate it again: marketing, sales, and fulfillment. The more marketing that you fill into the top of the funnel, the more negotiations that you have, the more that you could do the rest of this. So the greatest wholesalers, they are input driven. How can I do more? How can I do more? How can I do more without any expectation in return? Because they know the work that they put in now, they will see the results over the next 90 days, 180 days, year or 2. Everything that you do today just compounds and stacks and stacks and stacks until you have a machine bigger than your wilder dream. Okay, so how are we building our company to 0 to 100K a month in 60 months? It starts with 3 things: marketing, sales, and fulfillment. For marketing, we're doing VA cold calling, and this is what the team looks like. We have our team leader. The team leader is going to be managing the quality manager as well as the sales trainer. Under the sales trainer, we're going to have 15 cold callers. Across the 15 cold callers, we're going to be pulling 225,000 records, pull and skip trace every single month, and we're going to have around 8 total power dialer licenses. So why are we doing VA cold calling? See, each marketing channel has its pros and its cons. Look, at the end of the day, PPC and pay per lead, you're going to get someone who's the most motivated, but because it's inbound, you're typically going to get that higher cost per lead compared to cold calling. Hey, maybe it's a little bit colder of a lead. You did cold call them. Maybe it requires a little bit more follow-up, but you're able to get the most amount of leads in to fill that top of the funnel at the lowest cost per lead. So when building the wholesale business from ground up, we just need leads in the door. We don't want to do pay per lead or PPC right now because we're just focused on volume, 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 volume. So with these leads, what are we going to do with them? We have 3 exit strategies that we're going to be doing. 80% is going to be direct to seller cold calling with the VAs. We're going to be JVing with other wholesalers, and we're going to be going direct to agent as well on the MLS. What exit strategies are we going to be doing? We're going to be doing every single one of them: cash, creative, sub-2 novations, and then a realtor referral. Why am I going back to the wholesaler funnel? Because every single day I have people coming to me, Ben, I just want leads for creative deals. I just want leads for sub-2s. I only want to do cash offers. And that is the biggest mistake that you can make. Everything in this business is a funnel. If you could do every single exit strategy, the funnel is way wider versus you can only do cash deals. That funnel is way narrower, which means you're going to get less leads, which means you're going to get less seller negotiations, and you're going to do less deals. And we both know not every single lead pencils for a cash deal. Not every single lead pencils for a sub-2 deal, a novation. At the end of the day, the amount of exit strategies that you have is arrows in your quiver. If you only have one arrow, you only got one shot to do it. Otherwise, the lead is dead. Versus if you have every single exit strategy, you have more opportunities to get the deal across the finish line. Okay, let's get into how we are screening our cold callers. At the end of the day, you want the best of the best cold callers. You always get out what you put in. We're not just going to Upwork. We're not just going to Fiverr. We're not going to Online Jobs PH and getting a customer support rep who has never cold called before. They've never done real estate. We're getting savages. We're getting killers. We're getting people with experience, people who are hungry. So this is what our process looks like. Okay, so how do you find the best killers? The same way that you do marketing is the same way you do hiring. Inputs, inputs, inputs. We brought in 337 applicants, made them send a voice note with their experience and why they're looking to cold call, all that good stuff. We did 81 interviews, spent time doing that, and chose 15 of the best callers that we got. Confidently, we could say these are some of the best cold callers in the wholesaling space who are hungry to hit the phones and get deals across the finish line. So what do we look for in red flags? Bad accents. At the end of the day, you know, the difference between someone who sounds like they're from Canada, someone who sounds like they're across the country, it means everything when talking to a seller and building trust. Obviously, poor English, they need to be fluent. One thing that we've noticed is job hoppers. They go from job to job to job. It's saying those two things. One, they're not committed, or two, that they have issues. And then speaking of issues, uncoachable. It is the number one thing when it comes to sales reps and cold callers is they need to be coachable. I've had experience coaching sales reps who were not coachable, and it sucks. Not because they're bad people, but because they're stuck in their ways. Here's the thing about sales. Everybody has a thought in their mind about how sales should be done. And there's a million different types of sales strategies. So when you have one sales strategy and philosophy and you're trying to train someone who has a completely different, they're so closed-minded in what is the right way to do it that they become super defensive and then do sales the way that they want. I want to reiterate, it's fine to have your own independent thoughts. But when you are training someone, just being able to be coachable is so important. Growing up, I played a lot of sports, and I wasn't really the best athlete, but I pride myself on my ability to listen and my ability to be coachable, because the third-party point of view from the person training sometimes is different than what you see on the ground level. Sometimes you see things for the better, sometimes you see things for the worse, and the best talent, the best athletes, they're the ones who have their way. They're able to think for themselves, but they're also receptive to feedback. Other technical things that we screen out for is bad internet speed, poor mic quality, and, like we said, too much experience. Too much experience you can't train at the end of the day. Now, the fun stuff, the training. You really think we're just going to take 15 cold callers with no training and just throw them on the phones? At the end of the day, you always get out what you put in. The same inputs you have for marketing is the same inputs that you have for your team and for your cold callers. The more you put into them, the more you get out for you and your business. So when they get brought on, we put them through a 5-day training sequence, and this is our 20-hour training program. It includes the following: 20 hours of video modules, 30 hours of one-on-one and one-to-many training, 10 hours of homework, 5 quizzes, and 1 final exam. If you don't make the cut, you don't cold call for us. You don't work for us. Day 1 is introduction to the team. Day 2 is how we cold call. Day 3 is scripting, practice, and breakdown. Day 4 is getting everyone set up on the dialer, tech, all that good stuff, plus more scripting. Day 5, role plays, and final notes. In the training, we go over the following. We got our intro. We do key terms, real estate investing 101, what these leads are used for, the importance of cold calling, mastering the art of sales, what is off-market real estate transactions, the best cold calling practices, what not to say on the call, objections and rebuttals. And that's the start for Day 1, 0 to 100K. Spoiler alert, we've been dialing for already. I'm sorry, I've been behind on this, but I'm going to try to put out a video once every, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I don't know how many I'm going to put out, and I'm going to be documenting the results and the key findings that we have. If you're interested in more real estate, if you're interested in more cold calling and more sales, hit the subscribe button, tap in. Have a great day.